Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Dalashka, and you guessed it right by the thumbnail. Today I'm gonna be reviewing It Starts With Us by Mrs. Collen Hoover. Really, we need to talk about this. Let's get started. Let's talk about this book. For the people who don't know, this book is a sequel of It Ends With Us. It Ends With Us was also a big hit, a very big bestseller, also by Mrs. Hoover. So this book is a sequel of It Ends With Us. For the people who are thinking of reading this book now, I'll suggest you to read It Ends With Us before reading this, because this book picks right after where It Ends With Us was left. So this book picks right after It Ends With Us. So let's talk a little bit about what happened in Ends With Us. Now let me tell you people, I am not a fan of Collen Hoover. I have read her books It Ends With Us, Ugly Love, November 9, and this is like my fourth book of hers. This book I can say it's a little bit, I did not hate this book, but like the other books that I have read, It Ends With Us, it's Ugly Love, November 9, there are people love her books. I follow these YouTubers who make content revolving around like book reviewing, and they have said that let's say November 9 is the bestest book they have read so far, Ugly Love is the bestest book they have read so far. I am not a fan, don't hate me for that, it's just my personal opinion. She could be a fan of hers. Ignore this pink eyeshadow, she's doing my makeup, but I am not a fan of hers because one thing that I absolutely dislike about her, in this book It Ends With Us, Ugly Love and November 9, she has literally made her feel this. I have noticed this toxic pattern of hers in her writing, that she makes her female lead in the book. So yeah, I was talking about that. I've noticed this toxic pattern that she makes her female lead like literally with zero self-respect. When I read It Ends With Us, I was reading that book, like I wanted to finish that because I was taking like really long to finish that book. I've read that book I think in 2022, and I took a resolution that year that I'm going to read a couple of novels that year. So I don't know what happened, but when I was in school, that book was trending. Like every girl, every boy used to have that book, and I was like, let me give it a try. And lesser did I know that I'm going to dislike that book. I don't like that book because I just don't like the fact that Lily, just goes through so many, I don't understand why there is so much hurt, why there is so much suffering, what's the need? I don't understand. Are people really liking toxic stuff? Are people really liking that dominating toxic love stories? I don't know. But what happened, it ends with It ends with us. We saw three characters, Lily, Ryle and Atlas. Lily Bloom, she works in a flower shop, and she meets this I think Ryle is a surgeon, right? If I'm not, what does Ryle do? I forgot, because It Starts With Us, they haven't mentioned, and I read It Ends With Us like a couple of years ago, but I'll just mention here what does Ryle do. And yeah, he does that. Lily owns a flower shop, and Atlas is basically a character from her childhood who comes back into her life, and Lily gets married to Ryle. She falls in love with Ryle, and she did not know that Ryle is gonna turn out to be that very abusive and toxic husband, and he laid his hands on Lily, and Lily goes through domestic violence, and she just suffered until she became pregnant with her daughter Emerson, and she was like, that's it, like I have to protect my child, and I have to protect my daughter because I'm gonna be a mother soon. And that's the time when she leaves Ryle. Now let's talk about It Starts With Us. Let me give you a disclaimer. I'm also going to be giving you guys spoilers. So this video is a spoiler alert. So if you guys haven't read this till now, I'd suggest you do not watch that part. I'll give you a spoiler in the end. I'll put the timestamp in the description so that you can avoid that. But we'll go bits by bits and pieces by pieces. So let's get started. So In this book, we dive a little more deeper into Atlas's childhood. Now, Atlas is a wounded child. He had a lot of trauma from his childhood. He had toxic parents, abusive parents, and his mother Sutton did not treat him well ever. And I think when he was like a child, Lily, he used to like live some like in the neighbor of Lily, and he used to seek out for Lily, so that he can take Lily's help. And Lily was that one really, really caring friend to him, and she used to let him stay at her house overnight, and she used to give her food, and when she got super sick, she took care of him. So Lily and Atlas was like best friend kind of thing, but they eventually were growing feelings for each other in their heart, but they never confessed it. I think they confessed it later. They like proposed and everything. But they started off the friendship because Lily had a very kind heart, and Atlas had no shelter, no food, no nothing. He used to live in this abandoned house because he ran away from his house because his mother won't accept him, and his mother Sutton told him to just like go away. So now after so many years, Atlas's mother Sutton makes a re-entry into Atlas's life, and Atlas finds out this shocking truth that he has a brother who is obviously a step brother of his, but he did not know till now that there's literally a brother of his that exists. He used to think that he has no sibling, he's a single child, but when Sutton she reaches out to Atlas that where can you find Josh. So Josh is basically Atlas's brother that he did not know existed till now. And when Sutton reached out to him in his cafe one day, Atlas was like, what the hell, because he did not know his brother existed. He was his feelings were all over the place, and he did not know how to react. So Josh is basically Atlas's stepbrother. He's 12 years old, and he has been vandalizing Atlas's property. And Atlas used to see it in the CCTV camera that there's this teenage looking boy who is vandalizing his property. But as Atlas, being a very kind hearted and very genuine and very empathetic gentleman, was not angry that this young man is vandalizing his property. But he, when he saw that on CCTV camera, it literally reminded him of his childhood, that because he was empathizing with Josh, that he did not know it was Josh. So when he saw that boy in the camera, he was like, he thought that Josh reminded him of his childhood, that he did not used to have a shelter, and he used to go place to place just to search for food and everything. So Atlas was like, what pathetic situation this little boy must be going in his life, that he is doing so much damage on my property, and he has been sleeping and sneaking out on my property. So yeah, let's talk about Ryle a little bit. Ryle being Ryle, that toxic alpha male, he still hasn't changed, and he continues to treat Lily badly, while on the other hand, Lily and Atlas starts to go on dates. They start to hang out more because Lily knows that Atlas is back in her life, and Atlas knows that Lily is back in his life, so they start to see each other more often. But Lily is obviously very, very scared that what will happen if Ryle finds out about Atlas, because Ryle, like Atlas, is the only person, according to the book, that Ryle cannot tolerate Lily to be dating. So Ryle, his disgusting attitude, nature never changed, and Atlas, being a gentleman, continues to give Lily a princess treatment that she deserves. Now let's talk about Lily. Lily, being Lily, hasn't changed a lot. She still does not have much self-respect, even after whatever Ryle, I'm literally getting angry, I'm so sorry, but Lily did not, she still doesn't have any self-respect, and continues to have sympathy and empathy in her heart for Ryle. Okay, we understand she once loved Ryle, but after all the domestic violence you went through, I mean, sister, really? But she still continues to have empathy for Ryle, till the point that Ryle pins Lily against a door and sends her threatening texts when Lily talks to him about talking to lawyers, which was obviously Atlas's idea. While on the other hand, Atlas finds more about Josh, and he's very stressed about his little brother Josh, and he wants to keep Josh with him in his apartment forever. But Sutton, being Sutton, both of their mom, loves to torture Atlas, and she just cannot resist. She can't resist seeing Atlas happy. And the fact that after so many years, Sutton coming back into Atlas's life, she still hasn't changed much. She still carries that attitude. She's still that I don't know, drug addict won't be the right word, but yeah, she still is the same, like spoiled. Josh, who is basically Tim's son, Josh wants to know more about his father, and Atlas, being a very supportive and very mature gentleman, like I said before, he does not stops Josh, and he does not tells Josh like a lot about what Tim did to him when he was like a child. I think there's this one instance where Tim beat Atlas up. I don't really remember. I think that happened, but Atlas doesn't tell Josh about that, and he respects Josh's decision of meeting his father. So he begins to find out that where Tim is living, so that he can take Josh to meet Tim. But he's very nervous about Josh meeting Tim, because he just thinks that if Tim hasn't changed a bit, and what if Tim meets Josh and they both like come front to front, and Tim treats him badly, Josh will be very heartbroken, and he does not want to see his brother heartbroken. Lily finally tells Alyssa, who is Ryle's sister, Lily's best friend, aka Lily's sister-in-law, and Marshall, who is Alyssa's husband, aka Lily's brother-in-law. She tells, and all of them, they sat together one night over dinner, and they warned Ryle about pinning Lily against the door and the threatening text that he sent Lily, because Alyssa really cares and loves Lily, despite Ryle being her brother. She still stands for what is right, which is basically what Lily is doing, and she is happy with Lily moving on with Atlas and leaving his brother Ryle behind, because Ryle hasn't changed a bit, and even after knowing that Lily is the mother of his only daughter Emerson, he still continues to treat Lily badly. So yeah, after all of these stuff, this book suddenly shifted to this like last 10 pages, where we see that Lily has shifted into Atlas's apartment with Emerson, and after a few pages, literally there was this sudden so this is the spoiler part. After few pages, after Lily moving into Atlas's apartment, we get to see that Lily and Atlas ends up marrying. So the last 1 to 2 pages shifted into this, shows us this wedding scene, where Atlas is basically practicing his vows that he has written for Lily, that he will be telling on his wedding day. So this is the wedding day, and he is reciting the vows, and yeah, that's it. The book gets over. Now let's talk about my final reviews. So my final thoughts about this book, that Mrs. Collen Hoover, I don't know if you're watching this, but I don't think there is too much need to put your female characters or any characters through a lot of suffering, through a lot of pain, through a lot of hurt, because for the people who can relate to some stuff like that, goes through a lot of pain, and it breaks and shatters our heart also to read that. I mean, we don't want you to make your books all nice, all glitters and rainbows and happy, but I mean, you can work upon your writing, really. One more thing that I think, in this book, rather than building and cooking all of this Sutton situation, all of the sudden, there's a stepsister of Atlas, rather than cooking up so much story around them, we could have gotten more, interesting scenes to see with Atlas and Lily. They could have gone more on dates. You could have put, more like suspense, twists and turns like you do with other books. And last but not the least, I think, you just there was so much of unnecessary story revolving around Sutton and Josh that this book is like 300 pages, and suddenly Lily just shifted into Atlas's apartment. I mean, you could have built a little more story around that, and just after that chapter finishes, we see the wedding day, and even the wedding day we only get to read the Atlas reading the vows. We could have had more. You could have written more story around it, actually, around the wedding day at least. I mean, this is like a very very big shocker for like all the people who reads your book, all the Collen Hoover fans, and whatever the people who reads your novel. This was like a big shock for us that they get married in the end. This is like a very sweet and happy ending that we did not get to see in It Ends With Us. But I think if you showed the wedding day in last, you could have made a lot of more scenarios and scenes about the wedding day, because we would have loved to read that. So yeah, these were my final thoughts. I mean, please don't hate me for my reviews, my thoughts. I mean, some people like few authors, some people don't like few authors, just like a series. Some people are like a really big fan, and the other majority of the people just don't like it. So I'm not a fan of Collen Hoover. When I read It Ends With Us, I wanted to give her a try, and like, maybe let me read, like let me not judge a author based on just like one book. So I gave another book a shot, then the third book a shot, then I gave this one, and I hate to say it, but I am literally reading one more novel of hers, which is Verity. The reason I am reading this, I know you people are like, oh my god, you're saying so much about how you don't like her, then why are you reading one more novel about from Collen Hoover? Like, this book was a gift to me by a very close friend of mine, Himani, that she gifted me on my birthday. So to respect her and to respect this book, I have to give this book a shot. And this book, I have, this book, I have read a lot of good reviews that this book is, all about thrillers and suspense, and it's a great book. It also has 300 pages. So these both books are of 300 pages, but you can see the difference. I love the cover of this. This is also a very cool cover, and like the thickness of them, both are like the same. So I think in the next book review, we'll talk about Verity by Collen Hoover. So if you guys liked my review, or if you guys, found a little bit like, just wanted to see everyone's point of views, that what they have to say about this author, this particular book. So that was it. Hope you guys liked my video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share to this channel for more such videos. I just recently opened my channel. I posted few vlogs also, and this was my first ever book reviewing video on my channel. Looking forward for more. Thank you so much. Bye.